In this video, we will be learning about the Git Forking Workflow, which is a common method for contributing to open source projects. This workflow allows you to make changes to a project without directly affecting the original repository. Here's how it works. First, you fork the original repository. This creates a copy of the repository in your own account. Then, you clone your fork to your local machine. This creates a local copy of the repository that you can work on. After making changes locally, you push them back to your remote fork. Finally, you submit a pull request to the original repository, asking the maintainers to merge your changes. This collaborative approach enables contributions from various developers while maintaining the integrity of the main project. Let's begin our dive into Git forking. So, what exactly is forking? Think of a fork as your personal copy of a repository. It allows you to freely experiment with changes without affecting the original project. Forking is an essential process when you want to contribute to open source projects. This process creates a connection between your fork and the original repository, allowing you to propose changes through pull requests. Here are the steps to get started. First, navigate to the repository you're interested in on GitHub. Second, click the Fork button, usually found in the top right corner of the page. Third, clone your fork locally using the command git clone followed by the repository's URL. Remember to replace your username with your actual GitHub username and repository name with the name of the forked repository. Finally, navigate to the project directory using the cd command followed by the repository name. Now that we have a forked repository, let's set up the remote connections. When working with a fork, it is important to set up two remote connections, origin and upstream. Origin refers to your fork, and this is automatically set up when you clone the repository. Upstream refers to the original repository, and you will need to add this manually. To add the upstream remote, first check the current remotes using the command git remote v. You will see the origin remote URL for fetching and pushing. Next, add the upstream remote using the command git remote add upstream followed by the original repository's URL. Make sure to replace original owner and repo with the correct values. Finally, verify the new remote by running git remote v again. You should now see both origin and upstream listed. Let's talk about creating a feature branch. It is always best to create a new branch for each feature or bug fix you're working on. You should also use descriptive branch names such as feature, fix, or docs to indicate the purpose of the branch. Ensure your main branch is up to date with the upstream repository before branching. Here's how to create a feature branch. First, make sure you're on the main branch by running the command git checkout main. Next, sync with the upstream repository to get the latest changes. Use the command git fetch upstream to fetch the latest changes from the upstream repository, and then use the command git merge upstream /main to merge those changes into your local main branch. Finally, create and switch to a new branch using the command git checkout, be followed by the name of your new branch. For example, feature/awesome feature. Now let's discuss making changes and committing them. While working on your feature branch, make the necessary changes to implement your feature or fix a bug. Follow the project's code style guidelines to ensure consistency. Write clear, atomic commits, and use descriptive commit messages to explain the purpose of each commit. Remember to test your changes thoroughly to ensure they work as expected. To commit your changes, first check the status of your changes using the command git status. This will show you which files have been modified. Next, add the specific files you want to include in the commit, using the command git add followed by the file path. Alternatively, you can add all changes using the command git add. Finally, commit your changes with a descriptive message using the command git commit, followed by your message in quotes. For example, add user authentication feature. After making and committing your changes, it's time to push them to your fork on GitHub. Remember to always push to your fork, not directly to the upstream repository. Use the same branch name on the remote repository as your local branch to keep things organized. To push your changes for the first time, use the command git push, origin followed by your branch name. For example, feature/awesome feature. The U option sets up upstream tracking, which makes future pushes easier. For subsequent pushes, you can simply use the command git push. If you need to force push, which should be used with caution, use the command git push, force with lease origin followed by your branch name. Now that you have pushed your changes to your fork, you can create a pull request to propose your changes to the original repository. First, navigate to your fork on GitHub. Next, click the Pull Request button. Select the base repository and branch, which is the original repository and the branch you want to merge your changes into. Select your head repository and branch, which is your fork and the branch containing your changes. Write a clear title and description for your pull request, explaining the purpose of your changes. Reference any related issues in the description to provide context. This step initiates the process of merging your code into the original project, pending review and approval from the maintainers. After submitting your pull request, it's important to handle any feedback you receive from the maintainers. Be responsive to their comments and suggestions, and make any requested changes in the same branch. Push the updated changes to your fork, and the pull request will update automatically. Address all feedback before the pull request is merged. To update your pull request, first make sure you're on your feature branch by running git checkout followed by the branch name. Make the requested changes, then stage and commit those changes using git add, and git commit them with a descriptive message. Finally, push the updates to your fork using git push. To summarize, the forking workflow involves forking the original repository, cloning your fork locally, adding the upstream remote, creating feature branches, pushing changes to your fork, creating pull requests, and addressing feedback. Now, for some best practices. Keep your fork updated with the upstream repository to avoid conflicts. Work on one feature or fix per branch to keep your changes focused. Write clear commit messages to explain the purpose of your changes. Follow the project's guidelines for code style and conventions. Be responsive to feedback from the maintainers, and clean up your branches after they have been merged to keep your repository organized. Following these practices ensures smooth and effective contributions to open source projects. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.